Good morning. It is day 3. I have just had some brekkie and now I'm waiting for our teacher to turn up. And we're going to go and see some sights today and some monuments, and we're going to go and see Parliament. So I'll take you along. So day 3, big day, and I just wanted to show you the front of the hostel. There's an arrow pointing to the real world and then an arrow pointing into the hostel saying Hof Museum. So yes, they take it very seriously, and here is our group all assembled and ready to go. So the first place we went was Brandenburg Tor, which is the Brandenburg Gate. And in the subway there's all this signage about how it was created, when it was created, and obviously some information about the wall as well that was on the other side of it, on the west side. And here it is. So we obviously stopped for about 15 minutes and took all of the selfies in the world in front of this, and we took a nice group photo as well. So the paint, the orange and red paint on the columns there is actually from protesters, and it's been there for a couple of years. It's stained it and they can't get it off. So we're walking through the gate and we're going to go to the left. So on the left is some monuments. And look at the beautiful trees. I still am so in love with autumn in Germany. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at them all. And I thought this car was super cool, so I tried to get some video of it. Look at it, it's amazing. So the first monument that we went to today is called the Monument to the Murdered Jews. So this was put up in, I believe, 2013. So obviously a monument to those who were killed in the Holocaust. So it starts off with these pillars that are quite short, and then they get taller as you walk through, and it's like a maze. So there's also strict rules for this monument. So it's forbidden to climb on or jump on the pillars. It's also forbidden to make any loud noises or talk too loudly while walking through this monument. So as you can see, there's a bit of a decline. So as they get taller, you go lower into the ground as well. And the thought behind this was, even if you walk through with people, it swallows you. So you get this feeling, this really eerie feeling when you're walking through it, and you see people and they turn a corner and you might not see them again. So it's supposed to be like, for the Jewish people, they would see their friends and their family all the time, and then when they started getting taken away, you would see them one day and never see them again. And here's Alina. So I'm following Alina and Maria through because I didn't want to get lost. So this monument was also created by an American. He came up with the idea and the German government quite liked the idea, so they created it here. And here we are out at the other end. When you're in there, it's like as far as the eye can see is just these pillars. And people come and they leave flowers and other items on the pillars as well. And that sign there has the rules, so yeah, about not climbing on them and being quiet. And that's Maria. Maria's from America and Alina is our German tutor, so she's a student. But she's also helping us internationals out as well. Next, we went across the road to a park. So this park was known as a meeting place for gay people in Berlin. So within this park, they have a monument for the murdered homosexuals during the Holocaust because they were also targeted by the Nazis. So this is the monument. It's a box, and inside there's a TV, and the TV shows different banners and things and same-sex couples kissing. Then once we're done, we're walking back past the gate again, or the Tor in German. And we're going to our third monument now. And that building that you can see in the distance with the glass dome, that's the Parliament House or the Reichstag building. So we first went to this monument and then we go to that next. So this next monument is for the Senti and Romani people, also used to be known as Gypsies. So they were also a minority group that was targeted by the Nazis. So on the outside, the walls are all in English, telling you about what happened to these people. And then when you go on the inside, they have information in German. So this is their monument. And there, as you can see, that's all in German, that side. So the longer you spend in this monument, the more you see. So all of these plaques, all these pavers rather, some of them have names etched into the stone, and these are names of different concentration camps. And that goes the whole way around. And I don't know, Australian schooling system, we didn't learn that much about the Holocaust. The only one that I knew about was Auschwitz, and I couldn't get over the amount of different concentration camps that there were. So also around, this is really hard to see, but in the water here is actually a poem. So if you can see out of the steel, that says, silence. Without breath. And so on. So it's a poem that goes around the whole outside of the pond. Then we made our way around the corner to the Reichstag building, so the German Parliament building. Quite an impressive building, much bigger than Australia's Parliament House. So I skipped it because you weren't allowed to film. You actually have to go through security. So you have to show your passport before you enter, and you go through a screening process. So you have to go through metal detectors, and your backpack and your jacket has to go through a X-ray machine as well. Then we went up to the top of the building, so this is inside the dome. Then here we are at the top of the dome. Gives you a 360 view of all of Berlin. And the reason for the glass dome is anybody from the public can go into the dome, and you can actually see down into Parliament and you can see them working. The top of the dome is also open, so we got rained on. But it's open to let airflow through. And the mirrors in the middle there are actually used to point light into the building, so they don't have to use as much electricity. Then this is on top of the building, just outside. And that in front of me is Philip and Mariami. Philip's from Germany and Mariami's from Georgia. Then we caught a subway and we went on a walking tour. So this walking tour, we toured local graffiti, and we had a tour guide that was telling us about the graffiti in the area and how graffiti is not exactly encouraged, but it's seen as people taking back the city, like putting their mark on the city and making it their own. Then we saw this beautiful bridge. So this is a train bridge. It was actually recreated after the war. And then we went to the East Side Gallery. So the East Side Gallery is a remaining part of the wall. And they actually paid these graffiti artists to do murals along the wall. So a part of our walking tour, he asked us to walk the length of the wall, take a photo of our favourite mural that we saw, and then we had to come back as a group and show the group which one was our favourite and explain why it was our favourite. So these were all painted years ago, but due to the sunlight, damaged the paint. The city actually asked the artists to come back and paid for all their supplies and put them up in hotels for 2 weeks to repaint them. And then they painted over with a protective layer this time to make sure that it would stand up against the sunlight. And coming up, this one was my favourite. I took a photo of it. It's in both German and English, and the English says, "Many small people who in many small places do many small things that can alter the face of the world." I really like that one. Then we ended the tour at a skateboard park and had a very terrible coffee in this building. Yeah. And we saw a disco box. So these are all through Berlin. You put €2 in, choose a song, close the door, and you can have a little party. So we all wanted to try and cram in it. But it was engaged when we were leaving as well as coming in, so we didn't get a chance to go in the disco box. Then that night is Rocky Horror Night. So I was super excited. I'm a massive Rocky Horror fan, and Alina also likes Rocky Horror, so we found a midnight screening because it was Halloween weekend. So this is us at 1:45 walking to the theatre to see Rocky Horror, and it was a shadow cast, so they had unpaid actors who were also acting out some of the scenes as well. So this was the lineup. We thought we got there with heaps of time, but there was a massive lineup. So here it is. These are two of the actors. So the guy on the left was playing Frankenfurter, chick on the right obviously playing Columbia. So they got the crowd going before it all began, and the movie itself didn't actually kick off until about 1 a.m. So poor Alina was absolutely exhausted. But yeah, before the movie started, they had a costume competition. So these are all the people, and this is us getting ready to go. I feel like I should apologise in advance for my terrible singing, but the people who watch this know me, so you're welcome. So I'd never been to a shadow cast version of this movie before, and if you watch the right hand corner of the screen up the top, there's little words that come up, and the audience got really into it and they would read the words out. So some of them were questions, or whenever Brad introduced himself, we'd all scream out asshole, and when Janet was introduced, we'd all scream out slut. The whole crowd got into it. It was amazing. Then this section, the dinner part of the movie, it came up, I missed it, a little blurb that said, here's a boring part of the movie. You have 6 minutes for a smoke break. And then this is the timer for the smoke break. And literally half the cinema got up and went out for a smoke while they were waiting for the boring part of the movie to go. Then, of course, I had to get Rose Tip My World because it's my favourite. Taylor, if you're watching, I got it for you. Then the last scene there, you can see the shadow cast dancing along. Then at about 3 in the morning, we made our way back to the hotel, said goodnight to the hall for the last time. Then the next morning, we packed up all our crap. And headed down for some breakfast. Then on the way up, I saw the hotel has these little guides to German, and one of the prompts is David Hasselhoff is my hero. And here we are checking out. So this is our last day in Berlin. So we had a free day, so we didn't have any walking tours or anything planned. So we all broke off into little individual groups and did some exploring. So the first thing we did was try to find the subway. We got on the wrong subway to begin with, so we had to go back up the street and into the correct subway opening. Here you can see we found the train eventually. And the first thing we did was go to Mall Park, and they have markets every Sunday. So we went to these markets, and it's all handmade goods or second-hand items. So we found some really cool stuff, and I bought this very cute embroidered beanie because having an undercut, the back of my head has been very cold, and I thought I packed a beanie, but I forgot one. So now I have the cutest little beanie to wear to school. Then after we had done shopping and spent almost all our money, we broke off into different groups, and 4 of us went to find a souvenir shop. So Dawn from South Korea, Diana and Fatima from Namibia came with me, and we went to the I Love Berlin shop. So that was at Alexanderplatz. So we had to get a subway. We were very proud. We got on the correct subway and made our way 10 minutes away from where we were all by ourselves. And here's the I Love Berlin shop. So this is where I bought everyone's postcards from, and I also brought a couple of knickknacks and stuff so I can remember my trip. Then after all of that shopping, we decided that we needed a treat. So Dawn found this dessert cafe online. So we decided we'll go and check that out. So we took a tram this time, just around the corner, about 5 or 10 minutes down the line, to go to this dessert cafe. So we didn't realise to begin with, this dessert cafe is so popular it's actually broken into 2 parts. So this area here is takeaway only. So they sell eclairs and gelato. So this was the takeaway section we decided we wanted to eat in. So we walked around the corner and found the eat-in store. And these are their eclairs. They are so fancy. So I got 2 because I'm a pig. Dawn got 1 as well, and she got some gelato, and I had the best coffee I have ever had in Germany at this shop. I was very impressed. So then we made our way back to the hostel, and the figures in the stoplights, so this particular picture in the stoplights are only seen in East Germany. So West Germany has different symbols for their walk and stop. So here we are at the hostel, everyone met up, and now we're going to make our way to the train station. So back at Berlin station, getting ready for our trip home. We are all exhausted. We walked about 38 kilometers that day, and here's me on the train, and here's Diana. That's the end. I hope you enjoyed.